Hi everyone. I think we are live. I think it's been close to a week now, more than a few days, but I'm still stuck in that wonderful series, And as they say, Test cricket is like truly alive, and the heart of Test cricket is beating hard. And these are the kind of series which sort of make you really passionate about the game, make you think like why do you love Test cricket so much? It's the cricket in its purest form, and a lot have been said, a lot have been discussed about it. But I just want to throw this to you, Suresh. Was this the best Test series, say in the last couple of decades, say in in the 21st century? According to you, was this the best Test series in the 21st century?
Oh yeah, tough question. No, so, like I think see BGT gave a different high, right? The whole 2021 BGT. I mean, that was very unexpected. I mean, I'm saying here also it was unexpected, but this was a different series, right? I mean, this every match going into the fifth day and almost the last session. I think that was a very unique, and you could see that both teams were almost equally matched, and nobody was giving an inch. And when you think that one team has the advantage, the other team was not ready to give up and give away the fight. I think such a close contest across five matches, almost every day, going to the last session and definitely going to the last day. Yeah, I mean, probably this has to be among the top series I have watched for sure. Yeah, what about you?
No, actually, there are multiple facets to this, right? So, like you mentioned, you brought up that the famous 21 BGT where India defeated Australia by 2-1 in their own backyard. Then before that, probably that famous 2005 Ashes between Australia and England, where England edged Australia out, but in their own backyard. I mean, in English conditions. Then you had that 2001 series, India and Australia, where India made that comeback and defeated the
Yeah,
prime Australian team. Right? There've been a lot of closely fought series. Uh, that 2018 South Africa and Australia series as well, with the where that infamous sandpaper thing happened.
thank you.
That was also a
Yeah,
pretty good series. But I think if I specifically talk about 4 or 5 match series, I think I personally haven't watched any series which all
yeah,
the games right went to the final day, and 4 of them went to the final session. So that was
definitely.
truly remarkable. And like you mentioned that whenever you had a feeling that okay, one team is sort of getting an upper hand, immediately or more often than not, the other team sort of delivered a counter punch. So that was the beauty of this series. And I mean, for me, I think this has to be one of the greatest test series played in the modern day cricket in the 21st century. And we have been watching cricket for a long time. We have been a passionate test cricket fans as well. But I think this series was pretty remarkable, and there have been so many facets to it. There were uh, young Indian side, young Indian captain, England team with the gritty captaincy of Ben Stokes. There was sledges. There was certain controversies. The comebacks of Jofra Archer. Then you saw the likes of Rishabh Pant and Vokes coming out despite being injured badly. So all these things. I think that it was a pure Bollywood masala kind of stuff for me.
Yeah, yeah. And like you said, right? I mean, they say, right, test cricket is the test of human character, right? Human grit and determination. And this is exactly that, right? I mean, a lot of players were tested, and when they were tested, a lot of them came out really good. I mean, Ben Stokes, right? What a captain, what a fighter. That England team bowling lineup before the test series also be discussed, right? We thought that the weak link for England is the bowling lineup. But one man who made them competitive in every match was Ben Stokes. Always, if whenever they were stuck, he would come in, he would put the hard yards, and like because we have seen Ben Stokes over a period of time, right? We know his body is weak. He has gone through multiple surgeries, just come back, and we know that there's an Ashes coming through, and that's the most important series for them. And here you're seeing him. Okay, whatever Ashes. Okay, I'm going to bowl. I'm going to take the initiative. I'm going to push through, and so great to see as a captain. And finally, I mean, on the fifth test, it fell out, right? I mean, he couldn't. But that just shows how much he gave to the series. And hats off, like I mean, like you mentioned, right? Every person was tested, and it is good to see that grit and determination. And I want to come to Shubman Gill as well, right? I mean, in the fourth test, 0 for 2, that could have been the decider. We could have been out of the series in that match. But what a captain's knock! I mean, shows character, shows that I won't lead from the front. Lot of what he was under the pump, right? Because of the whole that incident happened with Crawley and Duckett, and a lot of people called him immature. They lost that match, and then is that the best way to play? Is that your style? Your captaincy was questioned, but what a comeback for him! I mean, and this first series in England 2-2, I think it showed a lot of character, and his bat spoke as well. Yeah.
And I think another beautiful aspect of this series was whenever one player, any certain player, or any certain the team or any group of players, they tried to be, too cute or too cocky, if I can use that word. I think they were, more often than not, they were immediately sort of brought back to the reality in some way or the other. You mentioned about that, if you start from the first test where the English players, the likes of Brook and all, Duckett, and they were having a go at Jadeja, at KL Rahul. I think we saw what both these guys did throughout the series. Then you had that grow your thing stuff, and that sort of backfired, badly for
Yeah.
India, and the that sort of gelled up the entire English unit, motivated them to sort of go hard at the Indian batters, sort of the replica of that 2022 21 test match lost 60 overs of healthing, but we were at the receiving at this point of time. I think there've been so much. It was like a typical Bollywood masala play, flick where there were certain moments where you felt the protagonist is sort of getting the better of the other guy and the bad guy, and then suddenly the other one dominates. And in the end, I think it was everyone was pretty happy. I think India would be a lot happier because considering the fact that they went to England with an inexperienced side with a new captain. And anyway, I mean, if you're drawing a series in any of the SENA countries, I think that's definitely a positive for the Asian side. So probably India would be a lot more happier. But I think this was mentioned by a lot of Indian English players as well, including Britain, their coach McCullum as well, that probably 2-2 was a fair result. England probably missed the services of Vokes and Ben Stokes in the final test, but again, India also sort of were without the likes of Rishabh Pant and Nitish Kumar Reddy and Bumrah and all those guys, right? So it was a fairly contested series, and I think went down the wire. So Suresh, I have a very few sort of very very specific questions. Who was your man of the series? I know England have been having this tradition of giving two man of the series, one from each side, picked up by the head coach of the other side, which was Brook and Shubman Gill in this case. But who, according to you, was your pick of the tournament?
You're saying like the overall, right? Yeah, not just each team.
No, no, overall.
Ah, man, I don't know. I think I have a bias here. I mean, I would go with Ben Stokes, man. I don't know. I mean, I've always had a bias for all rounders, and it's just so good to see. You've always had players who are probably good in one aspect, like for example, Jacques Kallis. You know, Jacques Kallis is really good as a batsman, right? And he's a good bowler as well. But Ben Stokes, as a captain, as a leader, pushing through almost scored 400 plus runs, 18 wickets. Man, that's monumental effort. And knowing that he's put through his body through that, I really wish he played the fifth match, and it was a very competitive match. But and the fact that okay, yes, it is a drawn series, right? But England were without their top bowlers, and nothing to take away from India. I like you said, I also think India probably going back out of the two teams thinking that they won. I mean, they are better off in the series, but I think England were able to put that fight because of the attitude Ben Stokes put up front. That gelled up the team. I mean, we always talked about baseball, but here is a player. I mean, here's a captain who's leading from the front, right? If you don't have that captain, this entire baseball theory doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's because of Stoke as a captain leading from the front. I mean, putting up his bat and the ball. So I think for me, it is Ben Stokes. Yes, there were multiple performances across Siraj, Root, obviously Gill, but I don't know. I just feel it's Ben Stokes. I mean, I just can't think beyond him I mean, it's just like we call it the bottom's ashes, we call it Flintoff's ashes. I think this would be this ideally if Stokes would have played all five matches and maybe the result would have gone one way. I think it would have been called the Stokes series, but it didn't happen. But otherwise, what a performance from him! I felt. What about you?
I think I think it was definitely a captain's series. I would say both Gill and Stokes
Yeah.
were brilliant, to say the least. No, I think you mentioned a very important point over there regarding Basball. So baseball, I think, has been really the problem with baseball has been the one-dimensional cricket which these guys have been playing for a long, long time. You know, where the idea is to sort of go and express yourselves out freely, irrespective of the result, and that has backfired, and it has earned criticism from all over the world, especially from the subcontinent and the Australian media to be very specific, right? But this time it was different. You know, you saw some
Yeah.
sanity along with that in that entire baseball approach, and I think Stokes was the driving force behind that. You saw that the way he led the side. You saw that every time England needed a wicket, Stokes was always there to deliver. They needed crucial runs. Stokes was there. Probably I was more impressed by his bowling in this particular series more
Yeah.
than his
Yeah.
batting.
Right.
But again, hats off to him. The way he captained the side, the way he led the side with that aggressive mindset. You know, we had that Crawley Gill episode, and then the next day they came out all guns blazing. Sort of that probably was one of the decisive moments from the series. For me, also, I think it was a close fight between probably someone like a Ben Stokes and maybe Mohammed Siraj. Siraj purely because of the effort he has put in. The way he has bowled. I think there's been a lot of talk around the entire thing about workload management. And to be very honest, Bumrah sort of is now in a situation, is now in a position where he can take the shots, he can decide what is best for his body because you need Bumrah in the key moments, right? But again, in
Yeah.
this series, it has been Siraj who has been more decisive because Bumrah played in 3 games and India sort of did not manage to win a single out of one of them, right? And then the 2 games where we felt, okay, India's bowling is bleak and Bumrah is not there. What's going to happen? And India ended up winning those games. And thanks to Siraj mostly because the way he led the pace attack, the way he sort of held his nerves, especially in that final hour. I think it was amazing to watch his growth. You know, we have seen Mohammad Siraj in so many roles. We saw him in that Gaba test. We saw him in that the 60 overall that that series as well. But I think this particular series, especially the last game, I think would do a lot of good for his stature. You know, he's definitely coming out from the shadow of Bumrah thing. Justy Bai, we only believe in Justy Bai. I think it's come to now we believe in Siraj Bai. So that's a big jump from his point of view. So I think it's gonna be a close call between Stokes and Siraj. But man, again, the way Stokes led, probably he would be my go to player of the tournament as well.
Yeah. No, and since you mentioned Bumrah, right, I want to bring up the topic, right? A lot of people have been discussing now, saying that, oh, that's bullshit. What workload management? I mean, your couple Dave used to play whatever 500 matches and all, and he's not missed a single test match, dude. Like, I can't believe you're having this discussion, right? Every body is different. You cannot compare somebody who has done it earlier with Bumrah. I mean, and Bumrah, like, like, do you want a scenario where he's not going to play forever? Or do you want a scenario like you mentioned, he's going to be there for the crucial matches? I am completely okay if he's there for the important matches, if he's there for the knockout tournaments, if he's there for like a series decider, and that's okay. I mean, we have to preserve him, right? You know, a fast bowler's body is always very what do you call it, crucial. And on top of that, the unique action he bowls with, he is prone to injury, and he's already had a surgery in his back. Why do you want to stress it? The physio, the there are people who are tracking him. Everybody's saying that don't push this man. If you push this man, you're not going to get him, and it'll be a big loss for Indian cricket if that happens very soon. And there have been signs of it, right? We don't want that to happen. Okay, yes, he's playing IPL, but that's just a 2 month tournament, and that's fine. He can play it. But the gruel of Test cricket, the gruel of knockout tournaments, the gruel of the IPL, altogether obviously takes a toll on the body. And I don't know. I can't believe that we're having this discussion that Bumrah is supposed to play all match. And good, like you mentioned, right? The fact that Siraj is there. I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay even if Bumrah is not there for all the matches. We have a good bowling lineup. We can see that Siraj takes some responsibilities, and so good to see him, right? So good to see him coming as leader. So I'm happy with the overall setup. I'm okay if Bumrah plays those 2 3 matches which are crucial for India, and I'm happy to see him play. That's more important for me.
This the entire Boomerang fiasco sort of reminds me of that golden chicken, golden egg story. Where there was a chicken who used to give a golden egg every day, and then because of the greed, we sort of the guy sort of ended up cutting through the tummy, cutting through that goose right over there.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what is happening with Boomerang as well. I know we Indians are very emotional. We have a tendency of the recency bias in India is like really, really prominent. I think it's everywhere. We all are, biased in some way or the other. But this recency bias is definitely taking a toll on the entire fiasco which is coming around Boomerang as well. Bumrah is a rare thing. I know Siraj is there. You have other couple of bowlers who are coming up well as well. Good for Indian cricket. But again, Bumrah is someone who can. Bumrah is like, I don't know who to compare it with. Maybe the prime Wasim Akram. That's what I've said.
Yeah,
Seen in my career. Maybe prime Alan Donald. These two game names come to my mind when I think about Bumrah. What Bumrah can do. He can win you matches single-handedly on any wicket in any condition in any format. So that's a rare thing. And I am all in for him.
yeah,
I strongly believe that he should be playing only a select few games. He should definitely not be playing any useless bilateral Vimal Zarda tournaments for sure. He should be very selective in what even with respect to Test cricket. If say for example, if, I think West Indies gonna be in India a few months down the lane,
yeah,
right? So I strongly believe Bumrah should not be a part of that series.
yeah.
He should be traveling to Sena country. He should be playing those crucial ICC tournaments. I think that's how we should utilize Bumrah at this point of time. Otherwise, like you mentioned, we might end up losing Bumrah way soon, and I think that will be a shame. If Bumrah doesn't end up playing 70, 80 Test matches for India, I think that will be a shame.
Yeah. No, I mean, and like you mentioned, like, the whole world cricket looks forward to Bumrah. It's not just the Indian cricket. Everybody wants to see him play. All the countries look forward to having Bumrah play in their grounds, right? And it will be really sad that doesn't happen. Yeah. I mean, and another thing again, we're going back to the management and the workload, right? Let's go back to the management, right? Okay, India has drawn the series, and Gambhir is saved for some more Test matches, is what I feel. But I mean, I'll just give you my 2 cents before I'll take your thoughts also, right? I definitely, okay, there are two coins. There's two sides of the coin, right? This is probably the first series where Gambhir has not had the baggage of, okay, let's call it baggage of Rohit and Kohli, right? This is the first series where he's gone and said that, okay, I have my full team. This is the team I wanted. This is the team I've taken, and and I've shown results. Yes, okay, that could be right, but I still think that there was some very dubious selection calls. I still think this is a very defensive lineup. We are still not having a potential capacity to take those 20 wickets. Maybe there is still an over dependence on a Siraj and a Bumrah and a Prasid maybe. But we need those guys who can take those 20 wickets. I don't know if a Washington, a Jadeja, and then one more all rounder is the way to go for getting those 20 wickets. I hope in India that's not the case. I hope we need the guys like Kuldeep coming in. But I really think that if Gambhir doesn't go and change that tactic of defensive approach to selecting the lineup, I don't know how we can win those crucial test matches outside India. Maybe India it can happen. It won't be difficult, but outside India, I think it's really going to struggle.
Are you sure about the Indian conditions as well? We saw what exactly happened with New Zealand last year, but
Um,
I think Gambhir is living on edge. I would say I would put it that way.
mm,
uh, I haven't seen any coach who has been given so much importance, so much freedom in the last 15, 20 years. Probably Greg Chappell was the last coach who had that free hand, and we all know how it ended for Indian cricket, right? I think Gambhir is walking, similar in the similar lines, as well. And I'm not really sure if I'm convinced about Gambhir being the right guy to, as an Indian cricket team coach, especially in the Test format. Like you mentioned, I mean, the team selection was bizarre, especially if you talk about the fifth game. It was the most juicy wicket of the entire series. It was a green top. And you ended up playing only three fast bowlers. Man, it was unfortunate that Nitish Reddy was not available. But that does not mean you
mm,
will play two or three all rounders. What was the need of playing a Dhruv Jurel in that lineup if you know that your lower order is pretty much sorted with Jadeja and Washington Sundar scoring a lot of runs in that series, right? I'm not sure, man. I mean, it was really defensive. It was bizarre, and Gambhir is very lucky to be in a situation where we are actually debating this, right? And
yeah,
or else, I mean, things would have been a lot different. And I mean, we have been hearing that news of potentially Morne Mokkal and one of the other coaching guys, likely to get sacked, after the Asia Cup. I don't know, but probably Gambhir is walking on thin ice as well.
yeah. And I mean, I've heard of bizarre talks today also, man. I mean that they want, I don't know, this could be again rumors, right? I mean they want Kohli and Rohit Sharma to play the Vijay Hazare Trophy and get form before they
Yeah, yeah,
selected
yeah.
for the ODI. I mean, what ego trip is he going on, man? What is he doing? Like, dude, come on. These are okay. Forget ODI team. I mean ODI. What do you call it? Grades, right? If you make a list of probably all-time ODI 11s in the history of cricket, Probably you have Rohit Sharma as an opener, you'll have Virat Kohli as number four. It's that level of play they're talking about. And you're asking them to
Yes.
play Vijay Hazare Trophy. What is the point? I don't understand. Instead of the stupid Vijay Hazare trophies, schedule more ODI matches for India, right? If you want them to have practice matches before the World Cup, schedule more matches for India. I mean, I cannot understand. I don't know what ego trip this guy is on, and that is going to be his downfall. Is what I feel, that this is unnecessary ego, man. I mean, I can't understand why you wouldn't have somebody like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. And 50 overs, we have seen them in the 2023 World Cup. It's so easy for them. They can sleepwalk through this lineup. They can easily play those 50 overs. I don't find them having any difficulty in this. But I can't. I find it very strange that he's so hell bent on getting them out of the team. I can't. I don't know why.
Even I don't know, man. I mean, especially with Kohli, I know we all know that Kohli and Gambhir had a history, but with Rohit Sharma, I'm
Hmm.
not too sure what exactly is happening. Probably the Test series in Australia changed a lot of dynamics, probably changed a lot of things between the two guys, right? But again, I am not sure, man. In ODI cricket, I would still back Kohli and Rohit both to play the 2027 World Cup because they are good enough to do that job, right? We saw what exactly happened in Champions Trophy. The way Rohit is leading the white ball cricket team. I mean, T20, you understand that
Yeah.
the format is changing. You want new players. You want the younger guys, the likes of Jaiswal, Abhishek Sharma, to sort of come and take over the world. But again, in ODI format, and again they are again setting up the context for the entire thing. If you ask say someone like Kohli to play Vijay Hazare Trophy, the what's going to happen over there, because his ego is also not he's not someone who will shy away from that challenge, right? He will not play. I mean, that will be a loss for Indian cricket. That's what I feel, especially with Virat Kohli in ODI cricket. I think he still has got a lot of cricket left in him. I definitely want him to bat at number three in that 2027 World Cup for India. I don't think at this point of time there is anyone, forget about India, in the world who is a better number
Yeah.
three batter in ODI cricket than Virat Kohli is at this age.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and you know that he has a drive, right? Both of them want to win that ODI World Cup, right? I mean, it's okay. 2023 they came close, but it's not there, right? I mean, and come on, give them the chance, man. It's just sad. It's just sad that this
I
is the
mean,
way we're treating them. Yeah,
if you really want to discuss, I think talk about their form. Talk if they're not doing, if
yeah,
they're
yeah,
not scoring runs, if they're not performing, please ask them to go back to domestic circuit, prove themselves again, get back into form. But again, they have. I think the last tournament was Champions Trophy, right? And both of them were like at top of the game. Why do you
yeah.
want to pose these kind of questions and seed these kind of doubts in their minds? I think this is definitely not cool. I mean, we can clearly see what exactly is happening over there, and I won't be surprised if few months down the lane, suddenly out of nowhere, one of these two guys or both of these guys, the legends, probably come down and say, "Okay, hey, hang on, I think it's gone. We have taken enough shit of this kind, and I think we are done." And
Yeah.
that will
No,
be a
that's.
loss.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they're being pushed towards that, is what I feel, right? I mean, you ask them to play all these stupid tournaments, and I mean, I don't know. It's going to be land, yeah. Yeah, I mean, coming back to the series, right? I mean, if you were to take, say, some pros, I mean, some what do you call, good points from India and something which India has to work on, what would you those be? I mean, I would quickly start thinking. I think Gill's captaincy. There were areas where I felt, yeah, he was great. There were areas where I felt he could have done better, especially in terms of intensity. But I think overall, I'm happy with the way he has led the team. I'm happy with the way that his influence is batting. Right, we have seen some people, for example, they the strain of captaincy affects the batting, and here's the other way around. I feel that the added pressure has given him a lot of impetus to bat well and bat longer innings as well. So I think Gill's captaincy is a positive for me. Siraj coming out of the shadow of Bumrah, I think that was a big point for me. I mean, we knew that the stats always showed that whenever Bumrah is not there, Siraj is performing well. But this time we saw a new Siraj, almost like a leader of the attack, and taking guys like Prasid, Akashdeep under his wings and propelling the whole attack this time. And especially the last day, that spell was tremendous. And I think those are the two big highlights for me. And maybe something to improve. I think that selection, like we discussed, right? I think that we can't go with the defensive lineup. I hope they work on that. I think we have one an all-rounder too many, especially batting all rounders. I think Jadeja now should be considered as a batsman now anymore. I mean, it's just not. He's not just. I mean, his average and his stats show that. So maybe a relook on that. I think those are areas that I think India should work on.
Well, I think Gill, if you see, Gill's journey in this Test series, starting from first till the last one, I think he has evolved as a captain in those 5 games. He's matured a lot in those 5 games. I know it's a small sample size, but again, the way he captained the first game at Leeds, where we completely crumbled in the by the counter attack by the English batters versus the way he captained in the final day. He did not panic even when Prasidh Krishna went for a couple of boundaries in his first two balls. I think then also he did not panic. He maintained his composure. He kept on backing Prasidh because he was getting the ball to move. So I think Gill as a captain has definitely evolved. His batting was a big positive. He played with a lot of intensity. He played with a lot of confidence. He backed his abilities, and now I think that number four position has got to do something with that. We saw the transition in Virat Kohli. Post Sachin's retirement in his batting, especially at that number four position, batting that 2014 England tour. I'm seeing a similar kind of change in Shubman Gill as well. I think with respect and KL Rahul as well, man. The way he batted, I think it was hats off to him. The way he
Super.
carried. I think in the post match presentation, he mentioned about the fact that a couple of youngsters they came to KL asking about what to do, what exactly to expect in English conditions, and he said that's where I realized that my role has changed now. I need to be a senior. I am a senior. I'm probably the senior most batter in the team after Jadeja, and then I have to play in a certain way, right? And hats off to him the way he batted, man. He absorbed all the pressure. He guided the other batsmen around him. For me, the one open point would be the number three position. Again, India tried both Sudarshan and Karun Nair, and I still feel that Karun Nair has some cricket left in him, but I'm not too sure because again, this was his opportunity. He got three games. Unfortunately, batting that 150 in the final Test match, he was not able to do much, and he was looking solid in most of the cases. And suddenly, one fine ball, he'll do something silly and he looks silly basically. Sai Sudarshan again, I think he's a young batter. I think he has a long career ahead of him. But I think for me, number three position is something which is still pretty much open, and probably the likes of Shreyas Iyer might come into the picture as well. Who knows? The other point you've already touched upon that India is being too defensive with respect to their batting depth. I think, especially if you're playing in those Sena countries where in India probably you can play both Washington Sundar, Jadeja, and even a Kuldeep Yadav, right? You know
Yeah.
what conditions
Yeah.
to expect. But if you're playing in, say, the next tour will be in New Zealand, I think a couple of years later, late 2026, I believe, and that's where I think you'll need a wicket taking bowler. Maybe someone like a Kuldeep, and you need a bowling all rounder who's a fast bowling all rounder rather. I don't see a place of a situation where you ideally want to play both Washington Sundar and Jadeja in the playing 11. So that's something which again India has to watch out for. And I don't know why Gambhir did not give a game to Arshdeep Singh, man. I mean, he can swing the ball. Could have brought in variety, and I think we have been yelling our lungs out before the series
Yeah.
started that other than Siraj and Bumrah, I think Arshdeep Singh could have been that guy, and I'm really surprised that he did not get a single game.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that fifth test was the opportunity, right? And like we discussed, right? I mean, that fifth test probably Siraj saved Gambhir's career. That's what
Yeah, for sure. No,
yeah,
I
that's what it's right now. Yeah, unfortunate, but yeah, that's the way it is, right? And that last match, the last almost what India's closest victory, right? Otherwise, we
yeah.
would be having different discussions now. But yeah, I mean, Akashdeep not playing. I mean, Arshdeep not playing those matches, and both the teams didn't have a left arm seamer, right? So if you would have
Yeah.
bought it, that would be such a unique factor. I mean, that would have really made a difference. And but I mean, what's your view on President Akashdeep? Do you think they are good players we have right now in the bowling department, or you think maybe somebody else has to be looked into?
So I think the way series started for say especially Prasidh Krishna, I think that was not too good to watch Prasidh Krishna ball in the first game. But I think he came back strongly in the last couple of games, and I liked the way he bowled in that second innings. Even after the batters were going hard, and still I think he found a way to make a comeback. And I think I'm happy overall the way both Krishna and Akashdeep ball. I am more of a Akashdeep fan. The reason because he's more on the fuller side, which gives an opportunity for the ball to do more. Prasidh Krishna, I think he'll be way more successful, say in South Africa and maybe in New Zealand. But if we are playing in English conditions, even in the subcontinent wickets, I think you're more likely to see Akash Deep over Prasidh Krishna. But I think overall, I'm pretty happy with the way these guys balled. In the tough situation. So yeah, looking good for them. But again, we'll have to wait and watch,
Yeah,
especially when Bumrah is not playing all those games, and you cannot only solely rely on Siraj to deliver. The goods. You need other bowlers to step up as well. Uh, so
yeah,
I think Suresh, before we wind up, I think let's make a combined 11 from the Test series. Uh, uh, you know,
Okay.
What do you feel? Who should be our openers? Let's start with the openers.
No, openers are actually tough. No, I mean, I think both the teams' openers have played well. I mean, I wouldn't say out of the four, I would say Crawley would come in the last fourth. Crawley had an on and off series. I thought some one or two innings, but otherwise overall nothing great. I like Duckett. I really like the way Duckett played. But I think Rahul for sure. The
Yeah.
other opener, I don't know your call.
I think Rahul and Duckett for me as well, because
Okay.
I know Jaiswal also hit a couple of centuries, but the way Duckett played in that first game, even in the third game, I think the kind of starts he gave on numerous occasions, I think it was really really important with respect to the momentum. So I'll also go with
Yeah.
Rahul and Duckett probably. I think number three is a position where none of the batters, only Pope batted
Yeah.
for England. India also had their struggle. So probably I think we should get in Root at number three and probably Gill at four. I know Root bats at
Gillett
four,
four.
but
Yeah.
still I think that would make more sense because none of those guys, Pope or Sai Sudarshan or Karun Nair, probably did enough in the series to sort of earn a place in the 11.
Yeah, and you cannot have Root and Gill, right? You should have both of them. I mean, they both had a tremendous series. So yeah, we should have both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Root and Gill, so that's three and four, five and six, right? I mean, I think what Stokes and Jadeja.
I think I'll rather have. I know. I probably Stokes for sure, Jadeja for sure. Both
Yeah,
of them will be there, but I think they will be more
yeah,
like six and seven for me.
six
Number
and seven.
five
Okay,
position
okay.
is pretty much open. I'll probably either go with Rishabh Pant. I know Jamie Smith also had a brilliant series with the bat as well as with the gloves, but I probably would be slightly biased towards Rishabh Pant because the way the kind of intent with he bats with, and again he's just a match winner, pure match winner. So five for me would be Rishabh Pant, despite the fact that he did not play the last game. Six Stokes, seven Jadeja, then 8, 9, 10, 11, 4. I think Siraj would be there.
Yeah,
One of those two. Then who else would be there? Three. We have still got three positions.
I liked Archer. I thought
Would you
whatever
take
seen of
Archer?
Archer, though, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
whatever
Who
seen of
else?
Archer in the
We've
field,
got a couple
yeah,
of more positions.
we have Archer, we have Siraj. We need two more bowlers, right? I mean,
Okay,
I
we've
would go
got.
with Akashdeep.
Yeah. Okay. No Bumrah.
Yeah, and Bumrah. Obviously, Bumrah. Sorry, 2 5 wickets, right? Yeah, Bumrah.
I think instead of Akashdeep, I'll probably go with I don't know. Who would you go with? Atkinson, Biden Cars, any of those guys?
Cars is average, man. I mean, his pretty average series, right? Almost and the average was pretty bad. I don't think he did well. Atkinson was what, one match. Yeah, I think Akashdeep and maybe Bumrah.
Okay. That's I think that pretty much sums up. We cannot have an 11 without Bumrah, even though it was a fairly average series for Bumrah considering his standards. He only got 14 odd wickets in 3 games. So we are used to seeing Bumrah, bowling at a consistently bowling at a sub 20 average. So I think this was probably not as good as Bumrah, but still pretty good. At a generic level. So I think this was really
Yeah.
fun, Suresh, and I think we should come back with a lot more debates now since we have a break. I'm still not sure what's going to happen in the Asia Cup, considering the political dynamics. We'll have to wait and watch. But we still have got a few days, few more weeks before the tournament
I
starts, so maybe
quickly
we can
wanted to
come back.
get your thoughts on the Ashes. I mean, I know we will be discussing that in depth later, but seeing the current Australian squad and seeing the current English squad, what do you see?
I know England probably underperformed in this series on a lot of levels, especially with their catching, their batting. Even the bowling was a little flat on a lot of occasions. Uh, but man, I'll still not write England off completely. I know there have been a lot of predictions going around with like people like McGrath and everyone predicting 5-0 in favor of Australia. I'll just probably not rule England completely out because historically we have seen whenever the top sides they are sort of pushed against the wall, they tend to come back hard. Uh, Obviously it will be like 70-30 in favor of Australia, considering the form Aussies are in, and it's going to happen in their own backyard. But I'm not definitely looking at 5-0 for sure. It will be a close series, maybe 3-1 to Australia at this point of time, but it will be a good series.
Okay, oh, for me, it's I think 50-50 right now. I mean, I think this is one of the best England sides that would have traveled to Australia in a long time. I mean, the batting looks set. I mean, it's one of the really good batting lineups. And bowling, if they get Wood, if they get Archer, if they're able to get, if Stokes is fully fit, I think the bowling lineup is also strong. And Australia is struggling, right? I mean, the opening lineup of Constance, Khwaja, I don't even know who's the number three now. Is it Green?
No,
Is it
I think
Labuschagne? A lot of,
their top
yeah,
order is all over the place. Their top order is all over the
yeah.
place.
It's a mess. Yeah. So I think this is probably the best chance England have in a long time. And if Stokes can continue with his performances, I think we'll have a cracker of an Ashes series.
I mean, really looking forward to it, man. I really hope that these
Yeah,
guys are all fit and fine, because it's a long series. A five match series is always very demanding, very taxing on the body. So really looking forward to it, and I think we'll be back with a lot more fun episodes going ahead, where probably we'll talk about certain other aspects, maybe the political environment in the cricket. Maybe we'll have to relook at the two-tier system as well. So plenty to
yeah.
talk about. We might cover a few iconic games, as part of the nostalgia series as well. So yeah, I think we'll be back shortly. Till then, please take care. Thank you so much, Sulesh, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Shubham. Thank you. Bye.